All right, haunt build number 3. First one was awesome. Second one was, it was okay. Hopefully I can redeem myself in the third installment. Today we take a look at the swamp and basically see it from beginning to finished product. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's jump right into it. All right, haunt build part 3. We're working on the swamp area this time around, and I think a good amount of this video is going to be dedicated to just that. Basically, everything is going to be very similar from last year. There's a few minor differences. Right here is going to be where Towering Tallulah is instead of Lethal Lily. And you've got some vines. We've been growing cucumbers up along the wall here to make it look like a little more swamp-like. Hopefully these die and give a good effect. Got this little sign I like. If you are reading this, then you are blissfully unaware of what is creeping up behind you. That's funny. Right here, this is very much the same. That's going to be where the jumping cat sits on, so it's a little more at your eye level. Hopefully figure out a way to mount that. And then you got all the fire and ice lights, just like last year. That one's going to be mounted there. There's one hiding behind there and one hiding behind that other shrub. Gertrude, right in the middle. And then a new thing is that the tree is gone, that limb branch is gone. And instead is this pole that is cutting across all the way to that end. And this is where the banner witch is going to hang, hopefully. Hopefully it looks decent. Hopefully it doesn't move anywhere. We'll find out soon enough, I guess. But it's supposed to be like Gertrude, Cauldroness, banner witch right there. And just be a little iconic scene, I guess, to those who know about Spirit Halloween lore. But moving on, this area, I don't really know what's going to go in the corner. I might just slap Twitching Banshee in here. Usually the fog machine goes here, so we might actually make like a table of some sort and then drape some fabric or something to hide the fog machine, and then have maybe some books or stuff like of that sort. Moving along, this area is going to be pretty much the same. One of the spirit trees are going to go here. Desmodus, Howling Werewolf, and the Swamp Fisherman will be back there. And then Darling Dolly, where she was last year. Moving in here, though, this is going to get a little different. Last year it was The Exorcist, and that was kind of lame, not going to lie. But here, let me turn my flash on. We're changing it up. This is going to be a continuation of the swamp. And we've got the fabric netting from last year that was on the pallet wall. If we go over here on this pallet wall, that's not going to be there anymore. Maybe a little bit just around the corner, but a lot of it's going to go in here, and the idea is to make it look like it's a little den for Lethal Lily, and this is where she's going to be. And I think it'd be funny to have someone like hiding behind this tarp, because they basically come in this way and then just do a 180. Have someone hiding behind here and stuff. This still has a lot to go. Got some vines that from Spirit, really just trying to bring up the vibe of it just being like a underground cavern in a swamp area or something. Got some of these snakes from like Walmart that hopefully like maybe people like brush their head against and freak out a little bit. I got the set of 3 fire and ice lights, but that is way too bright in here. It loses the scare factor, so I'm probably gonna take those down. But just gotta add some more of the mesh to this last piece, and then probably drape some down on this side. We'll see. I got this skeleton right here too. I don't think he's gonna stay there though. But that's how the swamp's basically coming along right now. Probably gonna spend a good amount of time tonight working on some of this stuff. Most of this weekend I've been working on the wiring for the triggers for like the circus area as well as the swamp. I can't imagine myself getting it up tomorrow, but maybe we will. I guess we'll see. But I also want to show you a little bit of me making these swamp lights wired into the 12-volt system. I filmed this part of the video like back in July or June even, and I still haven't finished it all. Maybe I'll spend a little more maybe tomorrow working on that. We'll see. Let's just cut to that right now. Is the next weekend, and I've spent a vast chunk of my morning wiring up these swamp lights. You saw the video of me doing it way back in June. I finished it up. I didn't really pay attention to getting all the spotlighting in. Like on the video you saw, I was trying to get these spotlights in and do added detail, but at this point it's like I don't really care. There's so much lighting in here anyways. It's not really necessary. So I got that one in, and that one in, and they all run off of one plug outlet right here. And next I'm gonna probably put up the animatronics, Gertrude, Jumping Cat, and the Cauldroness, and get that all figured out and sorted, because then I need to get the boxes out, the control boxes, one here, and then the other one's gonna go back there somewhere, and I gotta get that all done. So that's probably my next step. Oh, and in here, added some more vines. I don't know if I showed this, but tried to really make it a little more swamp-like. Also up here, got all of my lights up here, just bolted to a 9-volt battery pack. So those all light up. And it looks good on Lethal Lily at night. It's just enough to light it up, but keep everything else dark. I left the skeleton here too. He's zip-tied. And kept the legs in so that no one trips on him, hopefully. So that's good. So this is all coming along fine. All right, midday update here. Put up some more animatronics. Got Desmodus right here. This is probably where he's gonna go, or somewhere in this vicinity, along with the Howling Werewolf. And the Pneumatic Grandpa I want somewhere in here as well. And then the tree in the back. That's the agenda at least. We'll see how it turns out. Not there yet. Moving on here, this is what I really want to show you. I put in all the swamp lights. I don't know if I talked about that, but they're all lighting up. And I hid the wiring, so the wire just runs along the rope here, but you can't really see it, and at night you'll definitely not see it. The Cauldroness is going to be where she was last year. Nothing new there. I'm going to have a blue spotlight shining on her right here. That'll shine on her, maybe on the potion or something. I've got one of my pre-coated boxes mounted, and that's where it's gonna be. And that box controls Cauldroness, the Jumping Cat, and Grinning Gertrude. We're pretty close to seeing if it actually works fully, but that's where we're at right now. I also put up Mr. Dark, and I'll walk around over here to show you. This is where Mr. Dark's gonna go, in place of Hellspawn. And you can see back here, hidden away, is the other box. This is the main control box, so this is the wireless remote box, and that sends a signal to that other box I showed you just before, which tells Gertrude, Cauldroness, and Jumping Cat when to activate, and they activate in like a series. Mainly as people walk by, the cat will go off, then Gertrude, and then the Cauldroness, or something like that. I don't really remember. But I made a Google sheet of listing off of like what all the plugs are, because there's 3 plugs for each box, and I got about 4 or 5 of those that I'm going to be using, and I can't remember it all, so I made a little cheat sheet. Oh man, was that a pain. I just spent probably about an hour's worth of my time today on Saturday, or Friday rather, trying to figure out why my little box thing wasn't working. And it all came down to just a faulty ground, I think. And I think I was able to fix it. And I just want to show you what we've got here. Once it gets dark, I'll show you all of it again, because it'll be really cool. But I got my wireless remote, so there's the box over there that sends a signal to the box over here. And if I press this one button, Gertrude, Jumping Cat, and Cauldroness will all go off at one time, in a sequence, as like almost if you're walking. So if you're like walking here, I'll press the button. There's the Jumping Cat. Cauldroness goes off. Jumping Cat lunges at you. She keeps going, and then Gertrude keeps going on her own. She'll go for it 3 times. So that's number 2. And then there should be number 3 coming up. It's like, there you go. It's like every 9 seconds, I think. So the box is tailored to these props. The signals come on every so often. Now, the only problem with Gertrude is that even though she's plugged into the Try Me function, her sensor still works. As you can tell, that's from me. So if I were to just cover that, she shuts up. She just keeps going. So I think I might just take some tape or something and plug it over there. It seems very sensitive right now, which is quite strange. Earlier she was just going off nonstop. It was very annoying, and I'm sure my neighbors didn't like it. But let's do it one more time. So button A, cat goes off, Cauldroness, and Gertrude. You can see a little sneak peek of the box. I have it opened up because I was trying to figure out what was wrong with it. But yeah, all of these will light up. You can kind of see the light blending in. But overall, I think we're set to go. I think this area is good. So it's currently around 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. And I would say mainly this whole area is done minus the swamp effect. But that can be set up a little later. I'm not too concerned about that necessarily. I don't know if I want to add another light somewhere over here to shine on the pathway like I did last year, because I kind of like the idea of it being super dark. This light kind of does a good job at that, but again, walking over here, it's a little dim. I might just add a floodlight like I did last year. I don't really know. We'll see. But coming along here, this is very much different from last year, and I gotta say, I do like it a lot more than last year's rendition. I like the banner witch up in the air. There's just a cable that runs across here that holds her in, and she just hangs in the background, and this just looks like an awesome theme. I think this is just so cool. So I've got Gertrude, Banner Witch, and the Cauldroness, and again, they're all on the one button. So and the jumping cat. I can't forget the cat. But here we go. So cat comes out first. Cauldroness starts going, and there's that. That's pretty cool. And moving on, you got the Cauldroness. And you got all the swamp lights all wired in. And it's all getting controlled by one box, which is nice. Now, moving on here, you've got Desmodus. He's cool, but his sensor keeps acting up on anything, any movement. So he's going to be on a remote. He'll be on one of the options of this remote. And then you got Howling Werewolf and Lord Doc Hanavar. Very cool right here. I have them all under a green light. This area has got black tarp to kind of emulate growth and stuff. But we'll be able to figure out something, adding like some jute netting and stuff like that. But yeah, he just doesn't stop. But that is where I've gotten Darling Dolly. We'll go in here. We know what that is from like last year, and then you saw what's in there. So that is basically as far as I got with the swamp, and I think we're basically done. I got the majority of it up. You have a good idea of what it's going to look like on Halloween night here. Again, just little detail things, really. All the main stuff, the tree's up, which is good. I just got to like edit the branches to make it look a little more like a tree, but I can outsource that labor. Overall, very pleased with how it turned out. It's kind of different from last year. Not in main ways, just animatronics being rearranged and stuff. Desmodus was at the farm last year, so that's a relatively large difference. This area, I think, is a definite upgrade. I really do like how this area turned out. I remember last year, these were all on solar lights, and they just never lasted well. They always just gave out before like 7, 8 o'clock at night. And it just didn't really seem like we got much lighting from the sun in this area. So having them all wired in, and also having the detail lighting, I got some motivated lighting, got just one spotlight that shines on Gertrude to make that orange effect, which really makes her details pop out. I wish I could have gotten one on the cat, but just for time, it just didn't happen. But that's okay. I like the fact that it's just in like the shadows, because it's like, what is that thing? And then it jumps out at you. So that's, I think, is cool about it. And then the Cauldroness has a little blue spotlight on her. But once again, very happy with how this turned out. It looks very overgrown. Obviously, we're gonna have the swamp fisherman back there. He's just so big and bulky, I try to wait to put him up. But that is about everything to be covered in this haunt build video. Hopefully part 4 comes out soon. At the time of filming this, tomorrow, I'm planning to do a lot of work on the lab. The lab isn't supposed to have too many changes. It's probably just gonna be prop swapping and stuff. I've got a couple extra animatronics that are gonna find their way in there. But overall, I'm very happy with this area, and I hope you guys enjoy the final results. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But that's all for me for this video, so I want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.